am Franz.
And we are here to pump you up. So yeah, so we heard that your pastors wanted to get you all together for some encouragement and some fellowship and some spiritual development.
And we heard that your pastors were kind of puny to little guys. They're just teeny weeny leaders, and they don't want you to be teeny weeny leaders either. So they want us to pump you up and give you tips on how to be stronger, bigger leaders, yeah? Yeah, I think so.
And that is why we are here, to develop you as leaders. In our short workout together, you will be huger than you really are right now.
Huge.
Okay, so brother, why don't you give us tip number 1 for developing huge spiritual leadership muscles?
Tip number 1. What I like to consider tip number 1 is acknowledge one another. You have to acknowledge the other one in the room. Otherwise, you will do ministry all by yourself. And other people want to join you in ministry. You know, Hans, we do this all the time in the gym. And how we acknowledge one another is we give us a little fist bump. Try that out. Do it one more time. Fist bump. Just like that. And that just acknowledges, hey, Hans, I know you're here. I know you're here helping me out, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Listen, so here's what we're going to do at your table right there. You've got some people there. Acknowledge them, but give them a little fist bump. Just reach across right now. Give them a little fist bump to acknowledge them.
Yeah, and just make sure that you do not fist bump too hard because you might hurt them. They may cry like a little baby. We don't want that to happen. And make sure they are looking because you may do the fist eye bump. And that would not be good because again they will cry and we do not want them crying here at the Leadership Development Conference, okay?
Yeah, fist bump. But you got to make sure you acknowledge one another, yeah?
Yeah, fist bump.
Right.
Yeah, tip number 2 is something that we learned from Pastor Greg over at Parkview Church. He is really good at this tip number 2 for developing spiritual muscles. So if you want to develop spiritual muscles like Pastor Greg, you need to learn how to ask lots of questions. So you may meet Pastor Greg in the lobby of Parkview Church and he might say to you, hello, how are you today? He may say, hello, what is your name? He may say, how tall are you? Why are you that tall? He may say then, how much do you weigh? And why do you weigh that much? I mean, he is so good at asking these kind of questions to get to know you better. So spiritual leaders who are growing stronger spiritual muscles learn to ask lots of questions. That is tip number 2.
That's right. I remember Pastor Greg coming to me and saying, hey Franz, what do you think of my enormous triceps, right? And I said, Pastor Greg, you don't have enormous triceps. No. You're puny little triceps. You need to come and lift with us. But if you're going to be spiritually strong and get better at ministry, you've got to ask more questions.
Absolutely, yeah. Pastor Greg, I said to him about his muscles, I said, what is that hanging up from your shirt? It looks like dental floss. Yeah, okay, so here's tip number 3. Brother, tell us about tip number 3 for building spiritual leadership muscles.
Tip number 3 for being spiritual strong is to be confident. Always be confident in what you are doing. Hey, you know Hans, you know how I learned this from? Pastor Billy White. He is always confident. And you know how I know he's confident?
Yeah.
He's confident because when he talks, he always starts out by saying, here's the deal. Here's the deal. And you know what? You start to listen. Why? Because that's the deal.
Yeah.
That's it. You don't want to not be with the deal. So you come in and you listen because that's the deal.
Yeah, so why don't we practice at your table? Okay, so let's all together say, here's the deal. All right? All together. Let's say it together. Here's the deal. Here's the deal. Here's the deal.
Yeah.
Do you feel stronger? You are huger than you were 5 minutes ago. So I'm glad you did. Exercise number 3.
Ah, I like that.
Okay, now tip number 4 for building spiritual leadership muscles that you need because you are so puny, you need to be huger than you are right now, is to look out for each other. In the weight room, we call that spotting each other because you need each other. You do not want to be stuck lifting a weight that you cannot lift, it's too heavy for you. So you need other people there to support you, encourage you, and help you in those moments, to be there to help you get that big heavy weight off your chest that you cannot lift because you are so small. So you need like me and my brother. Oh no!
Hans!
See, you definitely need a spotter. See? Are you okay?
I think so. I think so.
Yeah, so those are 4 leadership development tips for you to grow huger than you are right now. So thank you for being here tonight for us with this exercise time to develop you in your spiritual muscles.
That is right. We need to be stronger leaders for God's kingdom. There's no excuse to be wimpy leaders for God, right? Not like some of those other leaders like Pastor Mike and Pastor Trent. Those guys are teeny-weeny, puny little leaders. Have you ever seen them in a gym? They're so tiny, Mike. You do not have to be like them. You can be stronger leaders like us for God's kingdom. So we hope you enjoyed what we gave you today, those 3 spiritual strengthening exercises.
There were 4.
Those 4 strengthening exercises. 4.
Yeah, thanks for remembering. Fist bump.
Yeah, all right.
So I am Hans.
And I am Franz.
And we were here to pump you up.
Yeah, I like it.